What's good, y'all? So we finna talk about accreditation. So if you don't know what accreditation is, for my people, professionals might know. If I got some teachers, presidents, whoever looking at this, instructors, they might know what accreditation is. Everything needs accreditation in the world. We talking about higher education. What is accreditation? Definition on the U.S. Department of Education.gov. This is the most credible. If you need anything pertaining to your college or anything, this is where you go. So if you're looking at other YouTube channels, not to take shots, but if you're looking at other YouTube channels and they don't mention, and they talk about higher education, and they don't mention the Department of Education, you better start watching because it's not credible. The definition is the goal of accreditation is to ensure that institutions of higher education meet acceptable levels of quality, which means that these colleges that we see, they all have to abide by the U.S. Department of Education standards. Yes, they have people that work that make sure these colleges are following everything they need to ensure that these institutions are following every guideline to ensure that the students are in the best conditions and, just make sure everything is going flowly. Didn't know that was a word. To make sure everything is going smoothly. So here on this board, you're probably wondering here, these are the same classes we seen in our last video talking about a nurse, right? So in this one, these classes might not matter. What? I'm gonna tell you why. So we all know you all like that fancy college, right? You know that fancy college you like that. This college got a swimming pool, but this college got a sauna. This college got, this college better than some hotels. Shoot, the food better than some restaurants, right? Yeah, you know them colleges. Don't play with me. So sometimes these colleges can be considered mom and pop. I'll say that for another video, but some of these colleges can be considered mom and pop. But that college that you like might not be transferable. What you mean, Henry? So when they mean that it's not transferable, you can be taking classes at a 2-year or 4-year. In this instant, it doesn't matter. Accreditation is accreditation. It can be at a 2-year or 4-year. If they don't have it, they don't have it. So you can be taking it at a 2-year, and you can be taking them at a 4-year. But if you take these classes, right, let's just say you take them here or whatever, and let's say you take them at a 2-year, and let's say you want to transfer it to a 4-year. If the 2-year is not accredited, but the 4-year is, I'm jumping into it now, you're smooth, right? If the 2-year is not accredited, and you try to transfer to this 4-year, these classes won't transfer here. So that means this right here. I'm gonna show you what this means. So that means that the classes you just took here will not go over here. You can't go nowhere. You're stuck. Oh, accreditation, yeah, it's that important. And it's vice versa. So if you was at this 4-year and you want to go back to a 2-year, but this 4-year is not accredited, you can't take these classes to this 2-year. You don't have no classes, period. See, I got the important. What this means, family, you can be at a school and you can be, let's say you're at a university, you can be there for 3 years, right? You graduate next year. And this school can say we're closing down out of nowhere. And think about it, that 4-year was not accredited. They were not accredited. And you went there for 3 years and they closed down your 3rd year and you was about to graduate next year. Your credits, when you try to go to another school and be like, oh, I graduate next year, them credits are highly likely not going to transfer. Let me give you an example. When I was at my 2-year college, right, I was working, being a part-time, I think I was a work study, part-time. I was part-time. I'll never forget this college, XYZ. They don't even deserve the advertisement. This XYZ college. A mom and pop college is a college that's not really known like those bigger schools we see on TV or ESPN or something, right? They're not like those big schools. They charge the most, this school charged the most outrageous prices ever. I'm talking about they were charging way more than prestige schools, to be honest with you, but it was in the local city and they were like charging it, and then they wasn't accredited. So people were paying abundance of money to go in debt on top of that, I don't think this school qualified for aid to be used or anything. Like, this how mom and pop it was, because they wasn't under, which I'll get into in another one, they were not under the system of the state I was in. So that's another red flag. But people were paying numerous of money, whatever. So all of a sudden the school closed down. Yes, they closed down. And so what the big controversy was, that people who was about to graduate next year, and if you about to graduate next year, you already know about the people behind them. You couldn't even graduate next year. What? The only people who was gonna graduate when that school closed down was the people who currently was graduating that year. They the only ones. So if you was at that school and it closed down, you had to start all the way over. So imagine this is 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. Them 24 credits plus more that you have. If you had 100 credits and you about to graduate, gone. And you know what they came to? My accredited 2-year. And my accredited 2-year told them and said, your institution was not accredited. We cannot do much. But what you can get out of this is you can start over fresh. And then I believe their loans were forgiven. But man, imagine you can't get 3 years of your life back, 4 years of your life back. Even if it was taking you longer, or like if you was there for 5, but you wasn't finna graduate for another 2. You can't get time back. And nobody told them this. And the school wasn't accredited and people were just paying money. Victims, that's a victim. That is a legal scam. And it's college, and it's higher education. Accreditation is so important. It's empirical that your college is accredited. I don't care if you 18, I don't care if you 15, I don't care if you what age. If your parents doing it, make sure they know what accreditation is. It's important. The best way to know if your college is accredited, or a college you are considering, is to go on the U.S. Department of Education. I'm gonna put the link in the description. It's important that you go on here and look. It will tell you, you can type in any school. It's important that you do this. If you're gonna be an athlete, if you're gonna do a talent, if you're gonna just be a scholar, if you're gonna be anything prestige in that institution, it's important that you know if it's accredited. Because when the time comes and they close down, they will not tell you soon enough. They're not. Everything pertains back to money. Everything pertains back to politics. Everything pertains back to this, that. You have to do your own research, because if you don't, you will be a victim. We done. Debt-free degree. They celebrating debt, but we ain't.